Welcome back. In a previous video, we assembled this beautiful budget planner, so now let's use it. In our budget planning insert, the initial page is for your savings goals. If you are budgeting, you most likely have decided on saving for something, getting together an emergency fund, or you already budget and just wanted a pretty new place to do it. No matter the case, we love having you. Here I have a long-term goal, something that I just need to save for over time. In this case, I put down a driveway. Short-term, which as I say within a year, is like a vacation or I want a new garden this year. Then we have ongoing, which is year after year, but budgeting and saving in advance instead of it hitting all at once. Good for an emergency fund, clothing for the year, back to school, Christmas, other gifts. On the other side of the page, we have a savings tracker. This is a fun way to see what you have saved month after month. The next 12 pages in our budgeting insert is a page for each month for income, expenses, and all your budgeting purchases. I am starting in January. To budget, we list out our projected income for the month. Each paycheck or any pay expected goes in this section with what you anticipate receiving. Then, in our essential expenses, you do the same thing, anything you have to pay for. Housing, transportation, electric, insurance, food. You fill in each expected amount that will be outgoing for the month. The best way to determine your spending habits if you are just starting to budget is look back over the past few months and see what each of the amounts were. Next, over on the right-hand side of the page are your debts. So any debts that you need to pay off would go here. And after debts, we can then move on to savings. With the savings section, you can list what you were working on that month and what you think you can put aside for those. If you have a new savings goal, add it to the front of your tracker. The last section on this is our variable expenses. This can be for coffee, eating out, nails, streaming services. Things you can go without. You don't want to, but you can. So after you list them all, you go back and you add up your anticipated income. Then you add up and deduct from the income your essential expenses, your debts, as well as your savings. You're going to take that balance you have left to spend and decide where you want it within your variable expenses. Maybe less coffee and more going out this month, for example. Or maybe you have more left than you thought and you can save more for one of your savings goals. This is not taking away from your wants, but being more mindful about them so that when you do have to buy a gift or something or a new stove, you're not stressing out figuring out how to afford it since you have planned for it within your savings. Your goal is to have a zero balance budget in the expected columns. This just means you want income minus essential minus debts minus save to be zero. So as the month progresses and you start to fill in your actual column, if your check is less than anticipated, then maybe you have to make one less trip to the coffee shop and you deduct from that budget. If your check is more, maybe you save extra. So as the month goes, you want to continue to fill in your actual. Okay, now we've moved on to our bill and expenses insert. In the front, you have a category section. If you choose to color code, this is extremely helpful. You can color code by home, self, food, or any way you see fit. I color code each section so I can lump my expenses quickly in my budget insert. On the right, you can track your subscriptions yearly and monthly. Just being aware helps you remember those payments. Now, the rest of the insert is 12 months of bills and expenses. I use the left side to track my bills, mark when I pay them, and gather them for my budget insert. I am using my budget insert to remember my bills as I like the complete list to verify they get paid. On the left side, Then you can group expenses, meaning at the end of each week, I go through my check register and mark all of my expenses in groups. If I allowed myself to spend $100 to go out to eat and I've spent 80, then I am aware each week what I have left, and that now I'm down to 20 in this instance. I have downloaded and printed our free savings challenge. I decided to use this one for vacation, and tracking this one with cash will be fun. I decided each bill on this printout would be worth $60 and I need a total of $3,000. I am using the plastic to store my cash. This planner doesn't leave my home, so I don't fear losing my saving of cash. There are many savings challenges, and the reason we made it like this is consistency is easier to handle. Yes, saving a dollar is easy, but what about those $300 weeks? I love the saying, slow and steady wins the race, so I was able to use this cute printable and decide what works for me. I used our planner cards to highlight my paydays so I could see those at a glance as well and stuck them in the back of the pocket. My budget planner is a great tool and it looks so cute. I hope this gave you some great tips on using our products to budget, bill pay, and save with confidence. We do have other options in the shop to further customize what works for you. We have a purchase and spending for details on spending and those online orders that we place. A bill and budget, which is a smaller budget on the just on the left, and then bill pays all together on the right. And then we also have a debt repayment tracker. If you have a large debt you are working on and want it detailed, this is a great place to do it. Another option we have is a 6-pocket plastic for a cash style method. You are able to mark each pocket with what the cash is intended for. With the budget stickers, those are a great easy way to mark the pockets simply. For, in this case, got groceries, personal, and entertainment. And that's 3 pockets that I can sort my cash in for that. Other side, same thing. I could make that, and this gives us 6 pockets and it wraps right on an elastic within our planner. Again, thank you for joining us, and we hope you found some wonderful things for you to build your perfect bill planner.